been a great bull run here. We've been in 18 months. We've been long it. We've made money for our clients, all of that. But it's a good sentiment indicator in my perspective, when kind of the chatter gets to the point where it's almost like, imagine you're in like a basketball game or something like that, and you're like talking to your opponent, and when the scoreboard looks really, really in your favor, some players, they'll start chipping, they'll chirp and talk their game, as they're up big, as they should, right? Then there's that rare, unique player who will chirp, the Draymond Greens of the world, the Anthony Bennett. NBA playoffs is going on right now, so I'll make this analogy. They've been okay so far, some really good games. Some players will just talk, whether they're ahead or behind. But in the case where you get up big, you're always going to hear it from all players. That's when you really lay it on your opponent and you try to put them away. But on Sunday night, we started getting like really strong bids. Like we get used to these price levels really quickly, right? 3,500, you're almost normalized to it. And gold has been in one of these runs, and we'll talk about retail adoption, like really starting to pick up, especially in the last couple of weeks. We'll get into some headlines, but the chart started going into that, it's not a linear trend anymore. If you zoom out, it's like whoop, going, but banana peel, Eiffel Tower, that type of setup. So on Sunday night, when you get the tweet going out on 33.95 gold, great and all, but then when you specifically start seeing, people who are hardcore focused on gold, chirping away at Bitcoin, that's tweet. Bitcoin does not solve that. That's a dig on the common phrasing you'll see from Bitcoiners. Bitcoin fixes this, right? Bitcoin is, you'll see like fix the money, fix the world. The Bitcoin kind of thesis believes this adoption is taking place because Bitcoin is better money, like on a variety of properties that it uniquely owns the hill on. But kind of right on time, gold keeps running into strength, but at $3,500, you start to, like this week, it was Tuesday, that price action was what I'd consider very interesting. So prior levels in gold, 2,500, 3,000, like round numbers, gold just blasted through. Like there was no resistance. It was straight up Maginot Line. Like, okay, you're defending this. Okay, we're going to go around through it, overpower you. And gold the last 18 months, like, was just taking no prisoners. 3,500, as soon as we saw that on Tuesday, immediately sold, down 2.5%, 3% over the next, 24 hours, the next, two trading sessions, bounce back a bit today. But I think it's going to be interesting to see the further we go on. Was that $3,500 some intermediate resistance that gold will have to overcome? Sometimes with these numbers, $2,000 was a key one. It took multiple kind of runs at price. The bulls had to go at it a few times. It wasn't an easy opponent. It was a much tougher level boss, if you will. You had to go back, practice it. It took you a couple of days, going back to your childhood playing video games here, right, to figure out how to beat the boss. $3,500 may, as time goes on, look more like the boss level at $2,000, where it took several quarters to chew up the selling available at that price to keep that overall bull run moving. But ultimately, like 3,500, it's going to fall, my opinion here. But it may take a little longer than these other kind of round levels that gold just completely blasted through with minimal resistance. It may break through 3,500 like by the end of next week. I won't be surprised that way. I won't be surprised too if it takes multiple months, quarters here as gold um, finally goes through a bit of a consolidation to force the new entrants, the retail monies, in the middle to late innings of a overall cyclical bull wave, have to come in, earn it a little bit. They weren't one of the early ones on the trend. It's going to be much tougher than this cycle, but or at this stage of a cycle. But I think that's something I'm going to watch. In particular, does gold actually have a consolidation in front of it here in this for where it's at in this 2 to 3 year gold bull run? So that's something interesting to me. But the sentiment and just shouting out Bitcoin when there's really no reason to here.
Yeah, this
I
is
spike the
just pure
football, you're
speculation.
doing well, but it feels like from my point of view, it lines up. Um, where the bulls are, pushing their hand a little bit, and might be time for a bit of a consolidation here. And my opinion is what I would watch for.
I think it's also interesting to see the comparisons between why gold is a good investment in quotes, or why people are saying it's a good neutral reserve asset. You start going through the list, and the Bitcoiners know this, but a lot of them end up being almost exactly the same as the features that Bitcoiners are pushing for Bitcoin itself, right? So
Yep.
it's interesting when you have somebody saying, "Oh, Bitcoin does not solve this." Well, it seems like it solves similar-ish problems, but I think there's just different opinions on where that is.